Ladies and gentlemen, look, I want you to hear me when I say this. Learning to love yourself is not some fluffy, feel-good idea. It's the foundation, the bedrock of everything you want in life. You see, confidence, success, happiness, they all come from the same place, self-love. And I don't mean the kind of self-love that's just a momentary high. I'm talking about that deep, unshakable love. I am worthy. I am enough. When you hold on to that, never give up, you walk through life different. You move different. People feel that energy and doors open. Now, so never give up. Here's the hard truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you don't love yourself first, so never give up if you're constantly bending over backwards, trying to make everyone else happy. You're running on empty. You owe it to yourself to take care of you, to nourish your spirit, to say no to what doesn't serve you. Never give up, because only then can you give your best to the world. Only then can you show up fully in your life. Stop looking for validation outside of you. The world will always have opinions, and some of them won't be kind. But you know who's got the final say? You. The real approval, the real love has to come from within. When you accept that, you stop living for applause and start living for peace. You start living for the quiet voice inside that tells you, never give up. You're enough. You're doing just fine. And listen, nobody's perfect. You're going to have flaws. You're going to have scars. So never give up. Mistakes, things you wish you could change. But those are your marks of strength. Those are your stories. So never give up. When you learn to embrace your imperfections, you're no longer hiding. You're no longer apologizing. You stand tall, proud of the journey that made you who you are. Finally, let me tell you this. Loving yourself is a daily choice. It's not a whim speech, a one-time speech, a one-time decision. It's a commitment you make every morning when you look in the mirror. It's the promise to be kind to yourself, to fight for your own happiness, to never settle for less than you deserve. When you do that, I promise you your whole life will change, not because the world changes, but because you do. So, love yourself more than anyone else ever could, because at the end of the day, that love's what carries you through the storms. That love is what makes you unstoppable. And that, my friend, is a life worth living. Self-love is often spoken about as a simple concept, so never give up. But when you truly dig into what it means and how it impacts every aspect of your life, you begin to understand why it is the foundation of true confidence and success. Without self-love, confidence is fragile and success feels hollow. Self-love is not about arrogance or selfishness, so never give up. It's about having a deep respect and appreciation for who you are, your worth, your value, and your potential. It's the inner fuel that powers your belief in yourself, even when the world doubts you. When you cultivate genuine self-love, you never give up. You build an unshakable confidence that no external circumstance can dismantle. So never give up. Confidence that comes from self-love is different from superficial confidence, which depends on external validation or fleeting achievements. When your confidence is rooted in self-love, it's steady and resilient because it's not tied to what others think or the temporary ups and downs of life. It's never give up. It's built on a solid foundation of knowing your inherent worth, your strengths, and even your weaknesses. So never give up. You become comfortable in your own skin, accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. This acceptance allows you to step into your power and face challenges head on, knowing you have the strength within to overcome them. True confidence is not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. And authenticity comes from self-love. When you love yourself, so never give up. You don't need to pretend, put on a facade to impress others. You don't feel the need to shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. Instead, you embrace your uniqueness, never give up your individuality and your voice. This authenticity draws people to you because they sense your genuine nature. It's magnetic. People want to follow, work with, and support those who are real and grounded in self-respect. This is where confidence transforms from a feeling to an influential force that propels you forward in life. Without self-love, never give up. Confidence can be brittle and dependent on external factors such as achievements, appearance, or approval from others. Never give. When those things falter, so does your confidence. Then never give up. This can lead to a cycle of chasing validation and feeling unworthy whenever things don't go your way. However, never give up. When you root your confidence in self-love, you break free from this cycle. So never give up. You understand that your worth is not determined by what you do or what others say about you, but by who you are at your core. This realization liberates you to take risks, try new things, and grow, because fear of failure diminishes when you know that your value remains intact regardless of outcomes. Success is often measured by external markers, money, status, recognition. But without self-love, even these achievements can feel empty. Success that is not accompanied by a love oneself often leads to burnout, dissatisfaction. So never give up, and a constant feeling of needing more to prove your worth. Self-love shifts the perspective on success. It helps you define success on your own terms, in alignment with your values and passions. When you love yourself, you are more and more likely to pursue goals that truly matter to you, rather than what society or others dictate. This authentic pursuit of success is more fulfilling and sustainable. Moreover, self-love cultivates a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When you love yourself, you believe that you deserve good things in life, including success. This belief opens the door to opportunities and possibilities because you are no longer held back by self-doubt or limiting beliefs. So never give up. You start to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats. You build resilience and a positive outlook that fuels perseverance. This mindset is crucial because success rarely comes easily. It requires persistence, learning from failures, and continuously pushing forward. So never give up. Self-love provides the emotional and mental strength to keep going even when the journey gets tough. Another important aspect of self-love is self-compassion. Loving yourself means being kind to yourself when you make mistakes or fall short. So never give up. Instead of harsh self-criticism that can crush your confidence and stall progress, self-compassion allows you to treat yourself with understanding and patience. So never give up. This creates a healthy internal environment where you can learn and improve without fear or shame. It builds a foundation of trust with yourself, reinforcing your belief that you are worthy of success and happiness, no matter what setbacks you encounter. Self-love also improves your relationships, which are often key to achieving success. When you value yourself, you set healthy boundaries and attract people who respect and support you. You never give up. You communicate your needs clearly and do not tolerate toxic or draining relationships. This creates a positive circle of influence that uplifts you and helps you grow. Success is rarely a solo journey. It often requires collaboration, mentorship, and support. By loving yourself, you create the conditions to build strong, give up meaningful connections that contribute to your success. It's important to recognize that self-love is a practice, not a destination. Ever give up, it requires ongoing attention, reflection, and commitment. You might struggle with it, especially if you've been conditioned to be self-critical, or if life has thrown challenges your way that chipped away at your confidence. But the more you practice self-love, the more natural it becomes. Small acts like speaking kindly to yourself, celebrating your achievements, taking care of your physical and emotional well-being, and forgiving yourself for past mistakes all reinforce the message that you are worthy. Over time, this builds a deep reservoir of confidence that sustains you. When self-love becomes your foundation, never give up. It impacts how you show up in the world. You carry yourself with dignity and assurance. You are less likely to be swayed by negativity or discouragement because you have a strong internal compass. So never give up. This kind of confidence attracts success because it aligns your actions with your purpose. You make decisions that serve your highest good and pursue opportunities that resonate with your true self. Never give up. This alignment between you are and what you do creates a powerful momentum toward achieving your goals. Self-love also fosters creativity and innovation. When you are confident in yourself, you are willing to take risks, explore new ideas, and never give up, and express yourself freely. Fear of judgment or failure fades away, allowing your unique gifts to shine. This is often where breakthroughs happen. When you trust yourself enough to step outside of comfort zones and push boundaries. Success in any field requires creativity and courage, both of which are nurtured by a healthy sense of self-love. Furthermore, self-love enhances your mental and emotional well-being, which is critical for sustained success. When you love yourself, you prioritize rest, balance, and self-care. You recognize when you need to recharge and give yourself permission to do so without guilt. This prevents burnout and maintains your energy levels, focus, and motivation. Success is not just about working hard. It's about working smart and maintaining the stamina to pursue your dreams over the long haul. In the absence of self-love, people often fall into patterns of self-sabotage, procrastination, or settling for less because they don't believe they deserve better. So never give up. Self-love breaks these patterns by instilling a deep sense of worthiness and possibility. You start to expect more from yourself and from life because you believe you are capable and deserving. This shift in mindset is crucial because it changes how you approach challenges and opportunities. You move from a place of fear and limitation to one of empowerment and expansion. Lastly, self-love reminds you that you are human. You never give up. You don't have to be perfect or have it all figured out to be worthy of confidence and success. Give up. Loving yourself means embracing your humanity, the messiness, the growth, the learning curves. Give up. It means treating yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you would offer to a loved one. This compassionate self-view creates a nurturing inner environment that fosters growth, courage, and resilience, the true marks of a confident and successful person. ChatGPT setting, you can't pour from an empty cup. This simple yet profound truth is one that many of us overlook in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. We live in a world that constantly demands more from us, more time, more effort, more love, more attention. Whether it's work, family, forgive up, friends, or community, the expectations can feel overwhelming. We push ourselves to the limit trying to meet everyone else's needs, often at the expense of our own well-being. But the reality is, if never give up, you don't prioritize yourself first, if you don't fill your own cup, you simply won't have the energy, clarity, or strength to give your best to anyone else. The idea of putting yourself first is not selfish. It's essential for living a balanced, fulfilled life. When your cup is empty, you are running on fumes. You might be physically present, going through the motions, but inside you feel drained, depleted, and disconnected from yourself. This depletion doesn't just affect you. You give up, it affects everyone around you. When you're exhausted or overwhelmed, your ability to show up fully for others diminishes. You become less patient, less compassionate, and less effective in your relationships and responsibilities. So never give up. It's like trying to pour water from an empty bottle. You end up giving nothing, or worse, you never give up. You give what little you have left, and eventually you run dry. Give up prioritizing yourself first means recognizing that you are the foundation of everything in your life. So never, you can't support others or achieve your goals if you neglect your own needs. This means taking time to care for your physical health by getting enough rest, eating well, and engaging in regular exercise. Never give up. It means paying attention to your mental and emotional well-being by managing stress, seeking help when needed, and practicing self-compassion. It also means setting boundaries, knowing when to say no and when to step back to protect your energy. These actions may seem small, but they accumulate over time to build a reservoir of strength that sustains you. Many people struggle with the idea of putting them first because they fear it will make them appear selfish or uncaring. But prioritizing yourself is actually an act of self-respect and responsibility. When you honor your own needs, you model healthy behavior for others, especially those you love. Never give up. You show them that it's okay for yourself and that your well-being matters. This can create a ripple effect, but never give up, encouraging those around you to do the same. In reality, taking care of yourself enables you to be more present and supportive when others need you, because you're coming from a place of fullness rather than depletion. It's important to understand that prioritizing yourself is not about escaping your responsibilities or avoiding hard work. So never give up. It's about managing your energy wisely so that you can meet those responsibilities with greater effectiveness and joy. When your cup is full, you are more focused, more creative, and more resilient. So never give up. You make better decisions because you're not operating from a place of stress or fatigue. You are more likely to approach challenges with patience and a problem-solving mindset instead of frustration or burnout. This is why self-care and self-prioritization are critical components of sustainable success and well-being. Taking give-up time for yourself can look different for everyone. It might mean carving out quiet moments for reflection or meditation. It could involve engaging in hobbies that bring you joy and relaxation. It might mean spending time in nature, so never give up connecting with your spirituality, or simply allowing yourself to rest without guilt. So never give up. The key is that these moments replenish your energy and reconnect you with your inner self. Never give up. They remind you that you are more than your roles and responsibilities. You are a human being who deserves care and nurturing. Never give up. Another aspect of prioritizing yourself first is learning to set clear boundaries. Boundaries are essential because they protect your time. So never give up energy and emotional space. Without boundaries, it's easy to get pulled in every direction Responding to everyone else's demands while neglecting your own needs. Setting boundaries requires courage and clarity. It might mean saying no to additional work when your plate is full, limiting time spent with draining people, or never give up, or carving out dedicated time for yourself each day. Boundaries are not walls that isolate you. Never give up. They are gates that allow you to choose what you let in and how you engage with the world. So never give up. They empower you to maintain your well-being while still being available and supportive to others. Many times, never give up. We confuse self-sacrifice with love and commitment. We believe that being a good partner, parent, friend, or employee means always putting others first. But true love and commitment don't require you to disappear or diminish yourself. On the contrary, when you prioritize yourself, you bring a healthier, stronger, and more balanced version of yourself to those relationships. You show up not because you're drained or resentful, but because you genuinely want to be there. You contribute from a place of abundance, not depletion, and that changes everything. It's also essential to recognize that life will constantly demand your attention and energy, and never give up. And there will always be times when you feel stretched thin. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean you'll never feel overwhelmed or exhausted. So never means you build the habits and mindset to restore yourself more quickly and effectively. Never give up. It means becoming attuned to your own signals of stress and fatigue and responding before you reach a breaking point. This self-awareness is a skill that grows with practice, and it's a vital part of putting yourself first. One of the biggest barriers to prioritizing yourself is guilt. Many people feel guilty when they take time for themselves. So never give up, especially if they are caregivers or have many responsibilities. So never give up. But guilt is often a sign that you're confusing your worth with your productivity or the approval of others. Never give up. Your value as a person is not dependent on how much you do for others. When you release that guilt and embrace the truth that your well-being matters, you create space for true healing and growth. Prioritizing yourself becomes an act of liberation rather than selfishness. In prioritizing yourself, you also learn the art of self-compassion. You become gentler with yourself when things don't go as planned or when you make mistakes. You recognize that being human means having limits and imperfections, and that's okay. This compassion fuels your resilience and helps you bounce from setbacks with grace. It also deepens your connection with yourself, reinforcing that your cup deserves to be filled regularly. The benefits of prioritizing yourself ripple through every part of your life. When you're well rested, mentally clear, and emotionally balanced, you bring your best self to your work, your relationships, never give up, and your passions. Your productivity improves because you're focused and energized. Never give up. Your relationships thrive because you're more present and patient. Never give up. Your creativity flourishes because your mind has space to breathe and explore. And most importantly, so never give up. Your sense of fulfillment grows because you're living in alignment with your own needs and values. Prioritizing yourself, first, a radical act of self-care that rewires the way you approach life. It's not about ignoring others or shirking responsibilities, but about honoring the truth that you cannot give what you do not have. When your cup is full, you can pour love, attention, and energy into the world generously and sustainably. It's a cycle of renewal and abundance that begins with you. So, learning to prioritize yourself is not just a luxury, it's a necessity for living a meaningful, joyful, and impactful life. Stop seeking validation from others. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life. Too often, people tie their self-worth to the opinions, judgments, and approval of others. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with messages about how we should look, behave, and succeed, and never give up. And it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking external validation to feel good about ourselves. But the problem with relying on others' approval is that it is unpredictable, fleeting, and often out of your control. So never give up, no matter how much praise or acceptance you get from others. If you don't believe in your own value, that external validation will never be enough. True, lasting approval has to come from within, from a deep, unwavering belief in your own worth. When you seek validation from others, you put your power outside of yourself. You become dependent on their opinions, which can change based on their mood, biases, or circumstances. This creates a roller coaster of emotions. One day you might feel confident and accepted because someone praised you, and the next, you never give up, you feel insecure and rejected because someone criticized you or ignored you. This external barometer of your worth keeps you in a vulnerable place, always chasing approval, but never fully satisfied. You never give up. You might bend yourself out of change who you are or suppress your true feelings and desires just to gain acceptance. So never give up. This leads to confusion, frustration, and a loss of authenticity. The truth is, no one else can define your value for you. Only you have the authority to decide who you are and what you deserve. When you develop self-approval, you step into your own power. So never give up. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you're good enough, smart enough, or worthy of love. You begin to appreciate yourself just as you are, with all your strengths and flaws. This self-approval doesn't mean you think you're perfect or above growth. Rather, it means you accept yourself unconditionally and commit to your own journey of improvement from a place of kindness, not judgment. When you rely on internal approval, your sense of self becomes stable and resilient. Challenges, criticism, never give up, or rejection no longer shake your core because your confidence is rooted in your own understanding of your worth. So never give up. You become less reactive to other people's opinions and more centered in your own truth. This inner approval also empowers you to set healthy boundaries because you know what you deserve and you won't settle for less. You learn to say no to situations and relationships that don't honor your value, which protects your emotional well-being. Internal validation also fuels genuine motivation. When you are driven by a deep desire to grow, learn, and be your best self for your own sake, your efforts are sustainable and meaningful. External validation can sometimes motivate you temporarily, but it's often tied to fear or pressure to impress, to avoid rejection, or to gain approval. This can lead to burnout or dissatisfaction because the motivation is based on something outside of you. Self-approval, honor, give up, on the other hand, creates a steady source of motivation rooted in self, respect, and purpose. You work towards goals because they align with your values and vision, not because you want to earn someone else's praise. Another important aspect of finding approval within yourself is embracing self-compassion. When you stop seeking validation from others, you give yourself permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to learn at your own pace. It's never up. Instead of harshly judging yourself for failures or shortcomings, never give up. You treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend. This compassionate approach reduces fear of failure and increases your willingness to take risks and try new things. It creates a safe internal environment where growth and creativity can flourish. It's important to recognize that shifting from external to internal validation is not an overnight process. It requires awareness, practice, and patience. You have to start noticing when you are seeking approval from others, whether it's through social media likes, compliments, or approval in conversations, and gently remind yourself that your worth is not dependent on those external signals. You can practice affirmations and positive self-talk to reinforce your value. Surrounding yourself with supportive people who encourage your authenticity rather than just giving empty praise also helps cultivate this inner approval. Letting go of the need for external validation doesn't mean you stop caring about how others perceive you or that you ignore constructive feedback. It means you learn to separate useful feedback from the need for approval. Constructive feedback is a tool for growth, and it comes from a place of care or professionalism, not from a need to prove your worth. When your approval comes from within, you can listen to feedback objectively, decide what serves you, and discard what doesn't without emotional turmoil. When you embrace self-approval, you also reclaim your authenticity. You stop molding yourself to fit other people's expectations and start living in alignment with your true values and desires. Give up. This authenticity attracts people who appreciate you for who you really are, fostering deeper and more meaningful relationships. It also frees you to express your creativity and unique gifts without fear of judgment. This freedom is liberating and energizing, allowing you to live confidently, and internal validation creates a strong foundation for mental and emotional health. Never relying on others' approval often leads to anxiety, insecurity, and low self-esteem. You might find yourself constantly worried about what others think or feeling anxious in social situations. So never give up. When your approval comes from within, you build emotional resilience. You're able to manage stress and setbacks more effectively because you trust yourself and your capacity to handle challenges. This inner strength supports your overall well-being and quality of life. Furthermore, so never give up. Seeking validation from within encourages you to celebrate your own achievements and milestones. So never give up. Instead of waiting for someone else to notice or praise your efforts, you acknowledge and appreciate your progress. This practice boosts your confidence and reinforces your self-worth. It creates a positive feedback loop where your internal approval motivates you to continue growing and striving for what matters to you. It's also important to understand that seeking validation from others often stems from unmet needs in childhood or past experiences where you didn't feel seen or accepted. Healing those wounds through self-awareness and self-love can reduce the urge to seek external approval. Therapy, journaling, and mindfulness practices can help you explore these patterns and build a stronger, more loving relationship with yourself. This healing process is empowering because it transforms your relationship with yourself from one of dependency to one of self-sufficiency and joy. Living with internal validation allows you to live courageously. When you know your worth doesn't depend on others, never give up. You're more willing to take bold steps toward your dreams. Never give up. You're less afraid of rejection or failure because you understand that those experiences don't diminish your value. This courage opens doors to new opportunities and experiences that might have seemed impossible before. You step into your power as the author of your own life rather than a character written by others' expectations. In summary, stopping the habit of seeking validation from others is a crucial step toward empowerment and freedom. Real approval comes from within, from a deep, consistent belief in your own worth that is not shaken by external circumstances. When you cultivate this internal approval, your confidence grows, your motivation deepens, and your relationships become more authentic. You never give up. You develop resilience and compassion that sustain you through life's ups and downs. This shift is a gift you give yourself, one that transforms your entire experience of who you are and what you are capable of achieving. ChatGPT said, embracing your flaws and imperfections is one of the most liberating and empowering things you can do for yourself. Society often pushes us toward an impossible ideal of perfection, a flawless appearance, unshakable confidence, and a life without mistakes or struggles. From a young age, many of us internalize messages that tell us we need to be better, smarter, forever prettier, or more successful to be worthy of love and respect. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion, and chasing it only leads to frustration and self-judgment. Your flaws and imperfections are not just mistakes or weaknesses. So never give up. They are integral parts of what make you unique, real, and strong. When you learn to embrace them, never give up. You unlock a powerful source of authenticity and resilience that no one else can replicate. Every person has flaws. It's part of being human. These imperfections can be physical traits, personality quirks, past mistakes, fears, or insecurities. Often, we try to hide or fix these aspects of ourselves because we worry about rejection, judgment, or failure. Never give up. We compare ourselves to others and feel like we don't measure up. But this comparison is a trap. It focuses only on surface level qualities or curated images rather than the full complexity of human experience. Never give up. When you accept your flaws, you stop hiding and start living more honestly. This honesty creates a deep connection and with others because it allows for vulnerability and genuine understanding. Flaws and imperfections carry stories. They reflect where you have been, what you have endured, and how you have grown. They show your humanity and the fact that you have faced challenges and survived. When you embrace them, you honor your journey and your courage. Instead of viewing your imperfections as burdens or shortcomings, so never give up, you begin to see them as badges of honor that mark your resilience and strength. This shift in perspective changes the way you relate to yourself. It moves you from self-criticism to self-appreciation. One of the reasons embracing your flaws is so powerful is that it fosters self-compassion. When you accept that it's okay to be imperfect, you stop beating yourself up over mistakes or perceived shortcomings. You treat yourself with kindness and patience, just as you would a friend. This compassionate attitude reduces anxiety and shame, which often stem from the fear of not being good enough. Self-compassion creates a safe internal space where you can learn, grow, and heal without fear or judgment. It encourages you to take risks and try new things because you know that making mistakes is part of the process, not a reason to give up. Your imperfections also make you relatable and approachable. No one is perfect, and when you show your authentic self, including your flaws, you invite others to do the same. This openness creates deeper, more meaningful relationships because it's based on truth rather than pretense. People are drawn to authenticity. They feel safe around those who are willing to be vulnerable and real. By embracing your imperfections, you not only strengthen your self-acceptance, but also foster connection and empathy in your relationships. Furthermore, never give up. Your flaws can be a source of strength and creativity. Many great artists, leaders, and never give up and innovators have embraced their unique quirks and imperfections to fuel their creativity and vision. When you stop trying to fit into a narrow definition of perfection, you free yourself to express your individuality and originality. So never give up. Your imperfections give you a distinct voice and perspective that no one else has. This uniqueness is valuable and can become a powerful asset in both your personal and professional life. Never give up. Embracing imperfections also teaches humility and patience. It reminds you that growth is a lifelong journey and that everyone makes mistakes along the way. This mindset helps you stay grounded and open to learning. Instead of striving for instant success or flawless performance, never give up. You appreciate the process and the small steps forward. You learn to celebrate progress, not perfection. This attitude reduces stress and helps you maintain balance in your life. In addition, accepting your flaws encourages resilience. So never give up. When you recognize that imperfections are natural and not a reflection of your worth, you become better equipped to handle criticism and setbacks. You understand that failure or rejection does not define you, and never give up, and you are less likely to be discouraged by challenges. So never give up. This resilience allows you to bounce back stronger and keep moving forward despite obstacles. It's also important to understand that flaws are often opportunities for growth. When you become aware of your imperfections, you can choose to work on them if you want, but from a place of self-love rather than self-judgment. You set realistic goals for improvement and acknowledge your efforts along the way. This balanced approach prevents burnout and promotes sustainable personal development. So never give up. It's not about trying to become perfect, but about becoming the best version of yourself, flaws and all. Many people struggle with embracing their imperfections because of societal pressures or internalized negative beliefs. Overcoming this requires intentional practice and mindset shifts. So never give up. You can start by noticing the critical voice inside your head and challenging its assumptions. Replace self-criticism with affirmations of your worth and uniqueness. Surround yourself with people who celebrate you for who you are, not who they want you to be. Engage in activities that make you feel confident and alive. Over time, these practices build a stronger sense of self-acceptance and pride in your individuality. Never give up. The journey to embracing your flaws is deeply personal and transformative. So never give up. It's about reclaiming your power from perfectionism and self-doubt and choosing to love yourself fully. It's about recognizing that your value is inherent, not conditional on meeting external standards. When you embrace your imperfections, so never give up, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of approval and open the door to genuine happiness and fulfillment. Your flaws do not diminish you, they enrich you, they add depth, character, and authenticity to your story. They never give up. They remind you that you are human, capable of growth, and worthy of love just as you are. This acceptance becomes a foundation for confidence, creativity, and meaningful connections. It allows you to stand tall in your truth and share your unique light with the world without apology or fear. In embracing your imperfections, You also inspire others to do the same. You become a living example of courage and self-love. Your authenticity encourages those around you to shed their masks and embrace their own uniqueness. So never give up. This collective embrace of imperfection fosters communities built on acceptance, kindness, and support. It shifts the culture from one of judgment and comparison to one of understanding and celebration. Ultimately, in embracing your flaws is an act of rebellion against unrealistic expectations and societal pressures. It's a declaration that you are enough just as you are. This radical acceptance empowers you to live a fuller, richer life, one where your imperfections are not weaknesses to hide, but strengths to own and celebrate. Loving yourself is not just a fleeting feeling or a one-time decision. It is a daily commitment that transforms every aspect of your life. When you choose to embrace your flaws, stop seeking validation from others, prioritize your own needs, and build your confidence from within, you unlock a powerful, authentic version of yourself. This ongoing practice fosters resilience, deepens your relationships, fuels your passions, and creates a lasting sense of peace and fulfillment. By loving yourself fully and consistently, you step into your true power and live a life grounded in self-respect, compassion, and joy.